This architectural marvel was built with a single, lethal intent: to function as a self-immolating weapon of mass assassination. Every carved pillar and golden beam was designed to fail at a precise, predetermined moment. The motive behind this trap stems from a bitter political rivalry. Prince Duryodhana saw his path to the throne slipping away as his cousins, the Pandavas, gained immense popularity. Hastinapur was locked in a tense Cold War. Duryodhana needed his cousins removed, but executing them openly would immediately spark a massive civil war. He required an accident. Absolute plausible deniability was his primary constraint. Because a public attack was off the table, the conflict moved away from the battlefield and entirely into the shadows of covert assassination. The plot shifts to the distant town of Varanavata. Working with his uncle Shakuni and an architect named Purochana, Duryodhana invited the Pandavas to a peaceful festival there, strategically isolating them from their allies. This cross-section reveals hidden layers inside the wooden pillars. The core is lac, a highly combustible resin disguised as luxury material. Mixed with wax and butter at the foundation, it created a massive tinderbox. One spark would send fire shooting instantaneously up the pillars. The Lakshagriha, or wax palace, was an architecturally perfect trap. It was engineered to execute its targets and burn itself down in the process, leaving zero evidence behind. Back in the capital, the Pandavas maintained a critical intelligence asset operating deep within the hostile court: their uncle, Vidura. Vidura discovered the details of the wax palace plot, but he faced a severe operational hurdle. He was under constant surveillance by Duryodhana's spies, making any direct, verbal warning to the Pandavas completely impossible. To bypass the surveillance, Vidura switched to the Mlecha dialect, an obscure, coded language. As the Pandavas departed, he delivered a cryptic message to Yudhishthira: "A fire destroys the forest, but it spares the rat who hides in its hole." This coded exchange allowed the Pandavas to enter the palace, knowing exactly where the hidden ignition points were located. They were no longer walking into a home. They were walking into a crime scene they already knew how to escape. When the brothers arrived in Varanavata, they initiated a psychological tactic. They feigned total ignorance, praising the beautiful palace and intentionally lulling the assassin Purochana into a false sense of security. While keeping up appearances above ground, they started a hidden operation below. Vidura covertly dispatched an expert miner to the town to assist the physically strongest Pandava brother, Bhima. This topological map shows their escape logistics. Every night, Bhima and the miner excavated a subterranean tunnel from beneath the palace floorboards, extending beyond the boundary walls. Seizing the initiative, the Pandavas triggered the fire themselves, utilizing this secure route to escape the perimeter. The combusting resin and oil reacted instantly. The entire structure violently erupted into bright, roaring flames, engulfing the palace in the pitch-black night. The targets successfully utilized the enemy's own weapon to trap them. Purochana, the architect of the Lakshagriha, was executed by his own creation. News of the massive fire soon reached Hastinapur, sparking a false celebration. Duryodhana believed his plan had succeeded without triggering any political fallout. The deception was solidified by a grim forensic decoy. Investigators sifting through the cooling ashes discovered 6 charred bodies: a local woman and her 5 sons, who had attended a feast at the palace and fallen asleep inside. By letting the world believe they perished in the flames, the brothers vanished from Duryodhana's sight. They traded their royal status for the freedom to move through the kingdom unseen and unhunted. Stripped of their wealth, their titles, and their home, the brothers were forced to navigate the dense, unforgiving wilderness and total darkness. The fire at Varanavata didn't end the Pandava line, it ended their life of palace comfort. They emerged from the smoke with a survivalist's instinct no royal tutor could have taught them. But the wild held threats far deadlier than the politics of the capital. As they moved deeper into the shadows, a looming collision with the fearsome demoness Hidimba awaited them.